The good life, full of fun, seems to be the ideal.
Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen, moms, dads, kids. You guys ready to have some fun today? Today we are I have my ceremonial shirt on, my Jack Rabbit shirt. We're gonna make Rice Krispie treats. So normally it's Cooking and Telling Joe. Today it's cooking Rice Krispie treats for Easter with Joe. So we're gonna have a lot of fun today. I could do the little rabbit thing, but I thought that intro would be corny, so I'm not gonna do it. In any case, what we wanna do today is we wanna make Rice Krispie treats. So rather than just start off with a sheet of Rice Krispie treats, I thought I'd show you how to make the Rice Krispie treat first. And then what we're gonna do, while it's kind of warm, is you're gonna cut out some shapes. So really neat, you get some cookie cutter shapes. And guys, if you don't have these, that's fine. If you go to a computer and you can print out an outline, or you could draw an outline of a bunny, and then just over the Rice Krispie treat, you could cut it. I mean, you could do that too. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna take some really neat little things to stick in them. So jelly beans and M&Ms and little sprinkles and frosting and all kinds of fun stuff to do. But the first thing we need to do is we have to make some Rice Krispie treats. So what we're gonna start off with is, obviously, 6 cups of Rice Krispies. Pretty cool. And then we're gonna start off, typically the mini marshmallows I like better because they melt easier, but you don't have to. So you're gonna start off with marshmallows, ideally about 10 ounces of marshmallows. So the packages run around 10 to 11 ounces, so that's a 10.5 ounce. Giant marshmallows have absolutely nothing to do with today's little episode, but look at those things. Are those things totally cool? They did not have those around when I was having hot chocolate when I was a kid. Those would have been totally neat, and then you put it in your mouth and then kind of push it back on. Does anybody do that, or am I the only one? Okay, and then we got 3 tablespoons of butter. So we got 3 tablespoons of butter we're gonna melt. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in the marshmallows, and we're gonna let them fully dissolve, which I'll show you. Once they're fully dissolved, you're gonna remove it from the heat. You're gonna mix in your Rice Krispies, okay? And then you're gonna take, this is about 13 by 9, give or take, okay, pan. And a simple way to do it is, after you spoon it in there, you just take a piece of parchment paper, because it's not really too hot, and you're just gonna kind of push it down and try to make it, you know, 1.5 inches or so, evenly dispersed across. Let it cool. We're gonna let it cool for a little bit. Like I said, we'll cut out some shapes. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it aside, let it cool, get hard, then after which point we're gonna take everything off, and then we're gonna decorate it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of cool. Okay, talk to you guys in a couple minutes. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with a little butter, right? So we got 3 tablespoons, give or take. And I know some people get frustrated with me because I would say give or take, but when I grew up cooking with my grandmother, I never measured anything. It was just kind of like a feel. So you're forcing me to make these specific measurements. But anyways, so you got 3 tablespoons, give or take, okay, of butter. So we're gonna put that in there, and you're just gonna let that dissolve. Now here's my advice. You're working with sugar and butter. It's always better to use metal as a utensil. If you use wood, a lot of times it sticks more because the wood has more surface area to it. So it's easier to use this. Sometimes I see the spatulas, you know, the silicone spatulas, which are fine, but you'll find this works great. Okay, so you're gonna let that melt down, which we're doing. I don't know what it is, but there's nothing that smells better than melting butter, right? It's like, where's some clams or some lobsters? Nothing real too exciting going on there, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my marshmallows, all right? And I got my pan, like I said. What I'm gonna do is, while we're waiting here, I'm gonna spread this across, just so it's less. And this is a lot of fun. This is something great to do with the kids for Easter, obviously. And you can do it in conjunction with your hard-boiled eggs, because hard-boiled eggs are a riot. They're a lot of fun to make, but the kids don't eat the hard-boiled eggs. So what's fun with this is they'll make these and they'll actually eat it. So we're gonna let this go. And we got some Frank Sinatra playing, which isn't always the traditional music to play for Easter, but we were trying to play some Disney, Pandora, and yeah, it just wasn't working out. So when all goes rough, you can never go wrong with Sinatra. And I don't know what it is, but your food always comes out better. Alright, so we're almost done. That's melting down perfect. I'm speeding it up here for the sake of television. Okay. So that's pretty warm. Now what you're going to find, what's really neat, most people don't even realize it, is your marshmallows are pumped with a lot of air. There's a lot of air in there, so you're going to see all this is going to cook down. And so we're just going to dump them puppies in there. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And just keep stirring. And you're gonna make almost like a syrup. You're gonna make almost like a caramel. And they start to heat up, and the oil from the butter. See, right now it's starting to soften them up already. Now I turn the heat up just a touch, not a lot, which is great. But the reality is, you cannot leave. You gotta stay here, because this is not kind. There's not a lot of forgiveness here. It'll turn on you quick. So keep stirring it. Oh, there it goes. And this is gonna, you know what? Correct me earlier, I said nothing's better than butter. Actually, there's nothing better than marshmallows with butter. I think that's my new favorite. Look at that, isn't that cool? See that? Look at that, it's kind of light, it's kind of fun. You know? Again, this stuff gets really hot, so it looks fun and pretty and cool to play with, but if you have a young one there, don't get it out yet, because it's like hot tar. Again, not very forgiving. So I stir it constantly. What it's going to do is it's going to cook right down into a, like I said, like a soft, almost like a soft syrup. And as it's cooking down, there it goes. Ooh, it's getting stringy. There it goes, almost there. So now look at that. See how the volume of that's gone way down? Look at that. See? So you want to keep stirring it until you can't differentiate the marshmallow anymore. See how the marshmallow is starting to just turn into a thick syrup? Oh, you're almost there. It's almost there. That smells really good. And you want to stick your finger in there and taste it? Don't. Because then you can't get it off and it's really hot and it burns. I know this from direct experience as a child. So it almost looks like fluff, right? It smells really good. And we're about done. So give me one more shot in there if you can with the camera. So just so everybody sees what we're looking to make. That's basically it. See, it's a syrup. You can't differentiate the marshmallow anymore, right? All the marshmallows are gone. And it's like a thick pudding, like a thick syrup, okay? Now we're done. Now we're going to take it off the heat. Now you don't have a lot of time here. You can't screw around. So you're going to mix your... Right, whoa, there you go. It's not fun until you smush it all over. And then you're just going to mix it. Now here's what's important, is to make a really good Rice Krispie treat, you want to make sure that you equally spread. It's going to stay warm for a little while. You don't want to crush the Rice Krispies, you know, so you're making like a breadcrumb. So you really want to fold it in there. You don't want to, if you hear a lot of crunching going on, not good. Okay, so don't do that. And right now, see, I can feel it starting to get warmer. The granite top here is cooling it down quick. And that's got some really nice disbursement. Okay, now you can taste it. I just gotta grab another spoon to help flick it up. Okay, so now that we're good, we're gonna put it, see it's got that string in there? Oh, that's good. And you're just gonna spread it. Boy, that smells good. I don't think there's anything that smells better than melted butter with marshmallows and Rice Krispies. Now here's the issue, the cook gets to scrape that out later. So, and that's your taste. See, and see that? You just take that metal. See, it doesn't really stick a lot to the metal, so it's easy. And now we're running out of time, right? So what you want to do here is just spread it, right? See how it's starting to, perfect. Now we're going to take, just when you think all is lost, right? You're thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to get it spread out. Fear not, my friend. 4 parchment paper will save you. And then what you're going to do is the parchment paper will not stick. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but I will tell you this, that we want, it's still pretty warm, we don't want to be too thick because we're going to make, you know, we're going to push stuff to it, right? So, we still got to, yeah, we probably got another minute and a half here before we're done. Okay, so I'm just going to keep spreading it. And what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to get an equal, and I'm not trying to push it down, I'm trying to push it out. So, okay, so you don't want to make them too dense, right? And then you just keep shredding with it. It's kind of fun. So look at it. Okay. Beautiful. And what these are, I'll tell you, these are really high in nutrients. Not. So, they're great to eat once in a while. Certainly not as a daily food. Here, let me check these, make sure they're good. Oh yeah, these are really good. Okay, so, I've made a mess. And like I said, this is still kind of warm. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let that cool for a minute. And then I'm gonna let it cool, I'm gonna take it out of here. Or you can leave it in there and you can cut it in there and let it cool in a few moments. So we're just gonna let it cool for a few moments and I'll tune back in. Okay guys, here we go. It's been like 10 minutes. So all I did is I went around the pan with a knife, right? And just loosened it up a little bit. See how it's still kind of warm and soft? That's perfect, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is just take this, drop it, okay? Look at that. Papa, perfecto. Abracadabra, right? So then it's still a little warm, which is good, because when it gets really hard, it's gonna be tough to push them through. So what I'm gonna do then is just take a cookie cutter, right? And I'm gonna pop out an egg. But like I said, if you are, maybe you don't have some cookie cutters at home with the kids, so then just take a drawing, a cutout, you can cut it around, which is really fun, right? Look at that, perfect or perfect, right? Here's a flower. My camera person was really big on the flour thing, so. Okay. And then take another piece of parchment. It was tough to say. Piece of parchment, and set it right over here. And then all you're gonna do, real easy, is you're gonna take, you gotta wiggle it a little, right? There, just whoop, you gotta cut. That's fine. And there you go, perfect, right? Whoop. There you go, beautiful, right? And then push that out. And sometimes you can spray the inside of these, but what I get nervous with sometimes is then you can taste it, you know, so, you know, when you're eating it, so just pull it across, there you go. And you're gonna have some waste here, but that's fine. I'm sure you'll find someone in the house to eat the waste. Okay, so there you go, right? There's your bunny. How perfect is that, right? There's our flour. And again, you don't want to wait too long here, because as you're doing this, remember the whole part is cooling down. So I'm gonna try to make a little less waste here. So there you go. It's still warm. It's not hot, but it's warm. But when it's cold, it won't go through like this. It's much harder to cut them. There you go. It's a good workout too for the kids. What's really fun about this too, like I said, is you're making something that the kids will eat. When a lot of times you're making those hard-boiled eggs or sometimes other items for Christmas or Easter or Halloween or what have you. And if they can't eat it, they'll have fun for a while and they'll hang with you, but then, then they don't hang for you the whole time. Here they'll hang because they know that they're gonna eat, or they'll start eating, your cutout waste. Look at that, is that perfect or is that perfect? And then you pop that. And I didn't spray this at all, right? Look at that, is that perfect? Molto bellissimo, they would say, okay? And then I'm gonna do another egg over here. It's another great song on the radio we got going on Pandora. And then hit that down. Now what really gets fun, where you're gonna see the kids really come alive, is when you decorate them. So now you put all this across, right? And then what you do is you sit up with the kids at the counter and you give them some frostings, and I've got a couple different ideas of things I'm gonna show you. And then you decorate them. They'll stay the whole time. They can do anything they want. Let them do whatever they want, have a riot. And then they'll eat some of it. And after they've had 6 or 7, they're gonna be on a candy height anyway. So perfect, look at that, see? And I don't even know how long, I'm not watching the clock here, but then you can get kind of creative and maybe get a little bit, 1 or 2 more out of here. Perfect. There's another egg. Now, the one thing I realized is that you don't want to go too crazy. I mean, there's so much sugar in these already, so you don't want to go too crazy with the frosting. You know, so try to go thin with the frosting. But now, you know, in this case, you can do whatever you want now. So now if you take a sharp knife, those are pretty good. Doesn't that just bring you right back to when you were a kid with your mom? So now this one, I just wanted a straight knife. See, that's getting a little cooler now, right? So it's easier to cut. So just to show you, if you want to do something and you don't have any cutouts, right? You're going to see why we're really glad that I have cutouts. Okay, there's kind of like a small egg. I don't know what you call that. You can call that a small egg. And you could do, I mean, I don't know, you can get crazy here, right? So I'm going to finish up with a little bit of this. I'm going to spread them on, I'm going to let them cool, and then we're going to spread some frosting on, and we're going to have some fun with them and show you how to decorate them for the kids, okay? Talk to you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, guys, it's probably been about 15 minutes. So these are basically a cookie, right? So look at that. You've got a beautiful Rice Krispie treat cookie. If there's a little something on there, that's one way to handle it. I'm just throwing it out there, right? You got a bunch of scraps that are left over, which are great to nibble on, okay? So you can always figure that out. And like I said, guys, you can cut something out of those, a little star. Your kids can go crazy on it, all right? So I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna use our little cans pre-made frosting, but I just wanted to show you guys, there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can buy rich and creamy, like a frosting, okay, pre-made, and then you can take a couple of large tablespoons, put it in different bowls, take food coloring, right? Mix up now you've got different colored frostings, and then if you guys have seen that, you take like a Ziploc bag, you put the frosting in there, cut the edge off, and then you can use that, if you will, to spread your frosting. That's great. So I wanted to show you some different ways to do it, because like I said, you may not have a cutout, and you may not be able to go to the store, or your store may not have the pre-made frosting, so that's fine. So that's just a simple tip, okay? What I've got here is all types of toppings. So we got sprinkles, and chocolate chips, and jelly beans, and M&Ms, and all types of frosting here, right? So some of the frosting will have different tips. So when you buy the frosting, it'll all come with different tips. So I wanted to show you that as well, okay? So I put a different tip on each one of the tops, right? And then these are a lot of fun. They're really easy. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put pressure on the frostings. And then you can kind of do like a ribbon across the top. Kind of cool. All right, so there you go there. Oh, what do we got? We got some green, one of my favorite colors. And then you're gonna start this. And this one here, let's see if this one is, oh, woo! That baby's ready to go. That wasn't separated. So again, you can come across here and just drop it across. And you know, this is great for the kids because they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Best thing to do with the kids is give them a couple of the frosting containers and let them go to town, play some music. And then, there you go. Whoa. That was a little off, wasn't it? So we'll just balance it right out, right? How much fun is that, right? And then you got some, what do we got? Red. Push that in here. Yeah, now see, that one's separated. So you want to just make sure you've got, isn't that cool? There you go. And you can fill it. And what's nice about these is your child could probably get diabetes in a matter of about 15 minutes after eating one of these puppies. But these aren't what I call a healthy treat, but they're fun treats. And you know, once in a while, it's all good, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and decorate a few. And if you feel as though there isn't enough sugar on it, I'm just thinking out loud, you can always throw a jelly bean on there. You know, you can throw like a red jelly bean or a white jelly bean up in the top. Right there. And the M&M you can throw across. So I'm going to go ahead and spend some time decorating these, and I'll join you guys back in a few minutes. We'll have some fun. Okay, guys. Ace of cakes I'm not, okay? But, you know, we're just kicking around here having some fun. So, see how nice these are? You can go just kind of zigzag it, just like you decorate an egg or something like that, right? Like you would there. But just to show how easy these are, you know? And then you just come across with another color. And they're just so much fun for the kids. And I will tell you, this stuff comes out quick, which is great. But, you know, let the kids know. Let them practice on something else, maybe. On the parchment. Because they'll go all over the place. And then you can hit, you know, a little bit of blue. Which is kind of cool, right? And then you hit them with, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? You can just go a couple sprinkles. They're fun. Stick a few. You got the jelly beans in there. You know, one thing you can do, which is really neat, you can take the jelly beans I use chocolate chips for the eyes of the rabbit. And, oh boy, that's a tough jelly bean. But you can use the black of the jelly bean, the licorice, right? Or you can put one right in there. You can put a licorice one, you know, right over there, and then kind of pop a couple around. Let me do one more here before we call it. And like I said, you can't put enough sugar on these puppies. I mean, you know, it's like diabetes in a weekend, but they're a lot of fun with the kids, so you can sit there for an hour, you know, or hours. And that's it. And they're fun and they're cute. You stick them on a tray. If they even last that long, the kids will probably have one or two. And then you got something for Easter. And Rice Krispie treats, I'll tell you one of the tricks in them, definitely put some saran wrap over the top, because the longer they set out, the marshmallow and the Rice Krispie itself will start to get stale. Oh, a little frosting there. And it'll start to get stale and then they don't taste so good. So they'll definitely stay for a few days if you wrap them up. Again, something fun, something simple, something easy. And a lot of enjoyment with your kids, and some tradition you can start when you're doing the eggs and other things. You can make some Rice Krispie treats. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We've got a couple of new ones coming out with cookies, so make sure you join us. Also, make sure you join our channel, YouTube channel. Just go to Cooking Italian with Joe on YouTube, or go to our Facebook page, like our page. And that being said, guys, may everybody have a wonderful Easter. I really enjoyed spending a few minutes with you, showing a family tradition we've been doing for years. Enjoy your Easter. Enjoy your family. Remember, family is the soul of life. I'll talk to you guys in a week.
The good life